welcome to another behind the scenes for the Fakefluencer. Today I've got Rich, Linus, and Mikale. So let's get straight into it then. Mikale, you've got some up and coming location scenes this week. What's planned?
We had a really nice shoot with one of the characters from the movie, the father. Yeah. We already had that scene shot, but we tried something else as well. We had him having a piece to camera. So rather than him being interviewed and looking at someone, at Tom Gilespies who's asking the question, he was just speaking directly into the camera. And what are we doing tomorrow? Yeah, we're going to the International Airport of Stockholm named Arlanda and doing some stuff there. It's going to be a part of the movie where Tom Gilespies arrives from Australia to Sweden. So we have this supermarket that we're going to go and where the mother of the character, mother of Pitman 360 works. And the interview takes place there. Actually, the interview has already been shot and it's not in those facilities, but just to add to that it sense that it's actually in that facility in the supermarket. She's gonna just go and pick some groceries up on the shelves and stuff like that. So that's gonna be shot on Thursday.
So there's plenty happened there. And speaking of Tom, the character, Rich, you've had an interview with a Blockchain PR podcast.
Yeah, that's right. So I think it was 2 weeks ago now. Anna of PR, Blockchain PR podcast, contacted me, and we did a run through, and she's published that. That was the first public facing interview I think Tom's done. Actually, he was mainly whinging about his terrible investment in the ButterCups 1 and 2, but no,
that was mainly an in-character interview then.
Exactly, yeah.
So you've got an interview with Crypto Titans as well. I believe that one's going to be in character as Tom.
Yes, so that's what we were talking about in the previous episode. I queued up an interview with Richard Hart and Yavin, and those have been conducted. And I seem to have pulled that off in character as well, because there was no red flashing lights, although I was going very red in the face and I was trying to hide my embarrassment. And also, like, I felt a little bit dirty afterwards, having this very big secret chipping away at me. But of course I followed up after those interviews and put them straight, made sure they were clear, obviously, to get the necessary release forms in place. And I'm still waiting to hear back. That's yet to be concluded, whether or not we can utilize those interviews.
So did they respond well to the character or to you as Tom?
Some of the most insightful interviews I've ever had, to be honest. I came away really, really actually liking both of them and appreciating their positions and how blunt and openly sort of critical of the industry they were. I think it was because the whole thing was premised around influencers. I think crypto influencers or influencers in general is a great vehicle for discussing all the bad shit that goes on in the crypto land. It's kind of one step removed, if you like.
Are they going to form part of the movie, or are they going to be more for marketing lead up into it?
Well, I'm hoping for a mix of two between, because there's some gold in there that I think belongs in the movie and should only be in the movie. And then there's some potential to make use of them for marketing as well. Absolutely. I don't want to, the last thing I need to do is piss off a crypto billionaire.
True. So website side of things, you've been quite busy there as well. You've got a couple of the new sites. You've been altering the site. You've launched some new ones. What was the goal behind? So you've got the ScooterCoin website's gone live.
Yeah, that's right.
What's the main goal of that one then?
So ScooterCoin.live is basically all about bringing attention to the ButterCup 3, basically. This device, Bitman put a couple of videos out as well the last few weeks. So we 3D printed the device, we made a prototype, or Bitman made a video. So bringing that into the real realm, and basically collecting pre-orders through that website for a device that only really exists in the movie or in this fake world that we've created here. He's pumping his product, which basically is a rewards mechanism for scootering. And this also allows like these two parallel stories to evolve out in social media. Tom's pursuing his movie and his investigation. Bitman's pursuing the launch, his entrepreneurial endeavors and launch as with the ButterCup 3. So it gives a little bit of a potential to, create friction and release little parts of the film narrative out into the wild. But it's very organic, to be honest. Like, it's almost like we're taking parts of the movie, the script, and then pushing them out, and then things are happening out here that are kind of affecting the script. So,
well, I mean, that leads quite nicely to Linus, who is the technical genius behind ScooterCoin. Is that a fair analysis?
Wow, what an introduction. Yeah, I mean, I've known Rich for quite some time, so I've been aware of the project, and when we would start talking about this ScooterCoin idea, at some point I suggested let's make a rebranding of already existing coin that is kind of dead or has been not very active for about a year at least. So we started the idea about rebranding former altcoin into ScooterCoin, and what has happened since that time is that we've got updates on CoinMarketCap. So it's no longer the old altcoin. That link is no longer there. Now it's only the ScooterCoin that you can read about at CoinMarketCap. And we are trying to do the same with the exchange, Frey Exchange, where the old altcoin was listed, that they will rebrand it and install the new wallet so that we can start offering exchange with them as soon as possible.
So there are actually people out there now, because it's rebranded, who will already be holding ScooterCoin.
Yeah, since people was holding the previous altcoin, they are now holding ScooterCoin. So yeah, ScooterCoin is already partially distributed among early altcoin investors.
So were there any particular technical challenges around the rebranding? Any changes you need to make to the architecture of the existing coin?
We did do a upgrade of the source code. So the old altcoin was based on Litecoin source code, and the new coin, ScooterCoin, is also based on Litecoin source code. But of course, it has been like 1.5, 2, or even 3 years since the previous wallet was made. So now it's based on the most current available Litecoin source code. So we did like a rebranding and upgrade in the same time of the source code. So it's now based on the same exact functionality as Litecoin. So it has actually SegWit and all features of Litecoin built into ScooterCoin already. So that wasn't that big of a, I mean, it was a bit, there was some problems along the way, but we finally got it to compile and work. What has been more of an issue is that it's good and bad that we had a very high difficulty increase like 1.5 years ago or 1 year ago. That it must have been caused by some error at one of the mining pools or something, because the difficulty went extremely high, like similar to, I mean, not the same level, but getting closer to like Litecoin, and it's not supposed to be there because it's ScooterCoin is not Litecoin yet. So what has been a bit difficult is to bring the difficulty down again, and it is now about 72%, I guess, into the current difficulty period. So at each 2016 blocks, you recalculate the difficulty. So we are like 72% into those 2016 blocks. So once we found the remaining blocks, it will be way easier to mine ScooterCoin in the future. And I guess that's going to be a few more weeks.
Yeah. So at that point, will it be mineable on standard computers, or are we still looking at custom hardware? Because it's based on Litecoin. That's quite a hard technical coin to mine from memory.
Yeah, and since it's based on the script algorithm that Litecoin is using, there is dedicated hardware that does those type of calculations very, very good. So that's why it's impossible to use a computer. So anyone who wants to mine any coin that is based on script or SHA-256, for example, you need to have specialized hardware. So no graphic card rigs, no CPU or computer mining. You have to have a specific ASIC. But they are not very, I mean, they are very cheap nowadays. So not a big issue. If you want to have one at home, you can definitely have one.
So do you think there will be many people taking up ScooterCoin mining, or do you see it being primarily, or in fact just exclusively a PR thing for the film? Do you see it branching off into its own thing separately and becoming a useful altcoin?
I think we are heading into like altcoin season again. So I think it's quite good timing actually. So who knows? It all depends on the hype and if it's usable, of course, if there is any usability. So if there will be any kind of successful partnership with some company, then definitely it can be a thing. As a general, like store of value or something, no, we already have Bitcoin. We don't need another one.
Rich, is that something you've done with the reaching out to the scooter companies? Is that an aspect of the ScooterCoin itself that you've gone to, or are you talking to them more for just the movie side of it?
No, I've been touching base about the ButterCup 3, obviously leading the conversation, but as myself, trying to explain that this thing is in a movie and that trying to give them that backstory is confusing as shit. But there's been some genuine interest from a few like other technical, like hardware, scooter hardware, extreme sports hardware kind of people, companies. So I think that might be the way in, actually. There's a possibility that this product could be a thing. I don't know, and it's sure as shit shouldn't be my priority because I got a fucking movie to make. But I was just looking at Mikale then when we were talking a bit technical, and I was like, oh yeah, he's the only no coiner here.
And I was thinking, like, when do I put in that? Why do you speak Greek?
Exactly, like
because for a non-coiner, it's like, I mean, you just basically lost. I mean, of course, there's some things that you can like imagine the difficulty level. Okay, that's like, okay, it still gets more difficult to mine those, and you can get that. But then you touched on this hardware, and I was like thinking, like, okay, so you can't mine it from an actual computer. You need some specific hardware to do it, and it's like, yeah, good luck.
but this is kind of part of the motivation with the movie, is to try to take a complex subject and
make it even more complex.
Hopefully not. So I'm curious, like you said before we hopped onto this vlog, you're like, Rich, I don't know what to say because you've been working with the ScooterCoin stuff and I don't know shit about it, but I'll be interested just to get your sort of view on where we're at. I mean, when you joined, it was a film project, and you've seen it kind of evolve since the very beginning, along with me. So I'm just curious, what's your thoughts at this stage in this?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's growing more and more, not to say complex, but it's multi-layered, if you want. And I mean, it's of course a very, very fun and interesting development. But as you because of my abilities and knowledge in that is limited, so there's not much you can contribute with. And then again, it's more like, as you know, I'm contributing with the movie part and not maybe so much with these parts, but it's fun to see along the way, and there's been a lot of YouTubing from my side to get a understanding of what kind of things are just like I didn't know what a blockchain was before this. I didn't give I mean, I knew that it was something, but what is really a blockchain? And all of these basic things that I've been, learning along the way, just to get an understanding of what we are really doing. But still, this is primarily for me a movie project, even if it's fun to see along the way what's going on with the currency, the cryptocurrency as well. But I do need to say, Linus, you need to, for our Swedish viewers, you need to promote your book, though. You have the possibility to do it right now, because I read the book and it's a fantastic book. Linus, or maybe you can just say it yourself, it's easier.
Oh, thank you. I should start by saying it's my wife, Jessica, who is the author of the book, and I'm very grateful for that, because if I were to write a book, it would definitely be impossible to read, at least back to back. So it's about mainly what we've gone through the last couple of years when it comes to the tax department in Sweden. And like you said, it has to do mostly with trading at this stage, because this was what I was doing privately. And that's what they came after me and 3 other Swedish persons that done trading in 2014 and forward. Yeah, to put it very simply, they're trying to get what's called, I think, precedent, something like that, for how to handle taxation when you do trading in Sweden. And it's just crazy the methods how they are working, how to get the ruling in the court in their favor. It's it's crazy. I had no idea such things happened, especially not in Sweden. So we felt the need to put it in writing and share it with others. So it's almost ready in English as well. We have it already published in Swedish, both as an ebook and printed book, and also now what is a audiobook, right? But we have it now almost ready in English as well. In Swedish, they call him the Bitcoin millionaire, is the direct translation of the Swedish title. And it's available for any Swedish people at bitcoinmiljonären.se or bitcoinmiljonären.se.
I highly recommend it.
Thank you.
So anything else you guys want to cover before we wrap it up?
I just want to say thanks for doing that post on LinkedIn, Dan, where you introduced the characters. I think you were also, that was a first as well, to have like a legit dude. Although, are you a character in the movie?
Or am I really a character? where I am my version of
Do you exist?
Hitman 360. As always, Rich, what's the best way for the people watching this to help out the project?
You can go to the fakefluencer.com, and basically that's how you get access to these vlogs that come out every month. But something I've been thinking about every bloody single day is the soundtrack album. Like, you guys grew up in the 90s. You remember when movies used to have soundtrack albums, and you'd buy that. You know, that was a product that you would buy. I really, really, really am still keen on putting together a beautiful, 10-track album to complement this movie. But, to get that's someone's full-time job, just to deal with the licensing. I have no trouble selecting the tracks and finding the right music, but if anyone's out there and feels like they want to make an album to complement the movie, then that would be great. You can reach me at rich@bitjoin.me. And though, everything else we could always do with help on the production of the movie, but of course you need to be around Sörmland, Stockholm, ideally, to help out with that. I forgot, Linus, you hooked up a couple of connections recently as well. There's the the guy that's going to whip up the VR avatars for the characters, and then there's this voiceover artist as well.
Yeah, this voice actor, I don't know. I mean, that is just a fun idea, I think. I don't know if you have had any more contact with him since that time, but he's really up for the task. I think he wants to do something. If you like,
Definitely, absolutely.
Celebrities using scooters, or I don't know what.
I think I've got an idea. I got some ideas. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's a book coming out, The Tao of Blockchain. So I myself am quite into Eastern philosophy, have been for a long while, and found that okay, this is actually a big area. There's the Tao of everything almost, but no Tao of blockchain. So I was like, I'll write that book. And then I thought, no, Tom will write that book. When you make a film these days, as you might be aware, that you need all these ancillary products around it. One thing that I've added is this book.
So thanks so much for taking the time out to do this. Any last minute messages for the people watching?
We're doing something quite unique here. So if you have any ideas of people that may be interested, forward them on to the website and let them follow along with us and get a ticket to the premiere. It'd be good to see some good interested people in there.
Great. Thanks very much then. And thanks for watching.